Hey guys, Jacob here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that I've gotten a few messages in my inbox about, and which I actually was really surprised to see this, and that's going to be this right here, which is the new Star Wars game being made by Ubisoft, also Massive Studios, and Lucasfilms Games. And you guys can see this is Star Wars 2021, so I'm not exactly sure when they're going to release this game and make it, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to see a peek of it probably next year at E3 or something. I have no clue if this is going to be an open world MMO game or multiplayer game or even a single player game. We'll just have to wait and see exactly what's going to be in this. Now, I usually don't cover other games that often, or even really Star Wars content on my channel. As you guys know, I'm a apocalyptic style FPS fan of games. I covered Metro Exodus, I covered Cyberpunk, which I'm getting ready to do the final part on that very soon, and obviously I do Division and other games that will be released eventually. And as for Star Wars, since this is made by Massive Studios, I might potentially bring this into the channel in the future if it's a pretty decent game. But also, this is more talking about the future of The Division. Now, as you guys know, The Division is made by Massive Studios, and I wanted to get this out here and talk about it because a few people have talked to me about this already and wanted me to give my overall thoughts on it. As you guys know, Star Wars is a very big name and a pretty much one of the biggest names out there for games, for movies. It's owned by Disney, and I can see why Massive might hop on this because for one, they're already making a game right now, as you guys know, which is James Cameron's Avatar, and they've already made one game on this, which was made by Ubisoft. I'm guessing this is going to be the sequel to this game, which they're currently making right now. I'm not sure if it's been delayed. I think someone said it got pushed back a little bit, so they might be working on this later on. But as for Star Wars, there's tons of games out there that have been made by different companies. Good example would be the one made by EA recently, and I think it was Respawn Entertainment made Jedi Fallen Order, which was a very fun game. It wasn't really a long game, but it was a lot of fun. I had a really good time enjoying it and playing it and slashing stuff with a lightsaber. But there's other Star Wars games that I feel like if they do decide to make this, will open possibilities for them to make other games. Now, originally, I thought this would have been more like a bounty hunter style game. If you guys ever played Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which was where you played as Jango Fett, and they did have a game called Star Wars 1313, which was supposed to be where you played as Boba Fett, but due to Disney purchasing the rights to Lucasfilms, the game was canceled, if I remember correctly, and never even seen the light of day, except an E3 reveal, which wasn't even the original game. That idea got scrapped, and they went with making a Boba Fett style game. There's even pictures out there on the internet if you guys want to look at them. But maybe even potentially they might make a Star Wars Republic Commando 2. And if you guys played this game back when you were younger or had the original Xbox, this game was so cool because you had your own squad and fought Geonosis soldiers on Geonosis and had to kill a commander, and the guns in that game, the HUD, everything was just so cool. Now, to talk about the future of Division 1, 2, and potentially 3. Now, for Division 3, we don't know exactly when this is going to be made, and I just want to get a few things out there because some people are starting to theorize this and talk about it, and talk about a few things that could happen. For one, we'll have to wait and see after Year 4, or Season 4, my bad, not Year 4, is over, which you guys can see it has 6 out of 11 weeks, and it'll be done, and then after the Fade-Out mission, we're going to wrap it up. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen after Year 2 is done, or when Year 3 starts, if we're going to be getting another expansion. One thing's for sure, the Langley files that were leaked will lead to something that will get maybe an extra season for next year, a new DLC, a new game mode, something we will be getting. But I'm wondering, since they have this new IP, how far are they going to go with Division 2? They could give us a new expansion, a new raid and stuff like that, and call it a wraps on this, and eventually close Division's chapter and be done with the game, and officially wrap it up and be over with, which I think that's very unlikely, but the possibility is there. Now, I've heard multiple people talk about this, and that's going to be the IPs. For one, Division already has its own IP, and they're working on, and then they have Avatar's IP, which they're working on as well, and now you're adding Star Wars to the mix. So can they work on multiple IPs at the same time? Now, I feel like Division, well, they probably have content placed out for this to get Year 3 going, and that potentially could be it. Or they're going to push one of these games to the side and it's going to be released later on. So they'll work on Division 3, and this will be a side project they're going to work on as well. But I feel like out of all the games, I feel like James Cameron Avatar is a big name, and so Star Wars. And since The Division is their own creation, I feel like they might just throw it in the trash can and work on those two until they're ready to go back work on Division, and maybe give us Division 3, 2 years from now, maybe a little bit longer, and that's when we'll get that game. So it might be a while before we even see a sequel to this, which does kind of suck. I find it very unlikely, but keep in mind it could happen. So, 1, they could shelve this game and be done with it after they release Year 3 content. 2, they could just push it to the side and work on other projects and work on this when they get ready, when they're done with those, then work back on Division 3. And, obviously 3, which I think might happen. If you guys remember, Red Storm actually appeared in a tweet and changed their background. So potentially maybe Massive Studios has decided to push Red Storm back into the picture, or they've hopped back into the picture Division, and maybe they'll take over responsibility for Division 3, and Massive will have some of their employees help as well. Now, if you guys also aren't aware, for the Star Wars game that is pretty much made by Massive and Ubisoft, there are a few things. I think it's Julian Grady is the, I think, lead person on this, is going to be the main person who's working on the Star Wars game, and I know multiple people have liked this. I think Tylander, Hamish, and a few others have, had like a tweet or something about the game. So I don't know if that's just them liking it to like it, or if it's them saying they're going to work on it. I have no clue at this point, but I'm really curious to see how they handle this. Also, there's multiple people who have made videos probably similar to this as well. I'm really curious if they do watch these videos. I'm curious how Kamikaze Von Doom thinks is going to happen. I'm curious what Rogue Gold thinks is going to happen. And also people like Clint Flair Woo and a few others that I know, and people like Coldboy, and wonder what their reaction is going to be to this, and if they think that Division 2 is going to be the end, or if we're going to get more content, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But overall, let me know your guys' opinions in the comments section below. But thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I will catch you guys all later.